So Republican lawmakers are demanding answers from President Biden's physician and other former White House officials over what they knew, when they knew it, regarding former President Biden's health issues.
Yeah, senior White House correspondent, the younger Peter Doocy, joins us now with more. Peter.
Good morning. And the small group of staffers that formed a tight circle around Joe Biden for his one and only term all just got letters from the House Oversight Committee to come in and explain what they did or did not do to conceal his decline from the American public. So the following Biden folks, go check your mail. His former physician, Dr. Kevin O'Connor, the former director of the Domestic Policy Council, Neera Tanden, the former assistant to the president and chief of staff to the First Lady, Anthony Bernal, the former assistant to the president and deputy chief of staff, Annie Tomasini, and the former deputy assistant to the president and director of strategic outreach, Ashley Williams.
Why do I use Navam?
No one asked you.
My bad.
It makes managing business travel.
They're behind the scenes. They fly under the radar. These are the unelected bureaucrats that we believe had an overwhelming influence over Joe Biden and could have possibly been serving as de facto presidents of the United States.
Well, now one of the most legendary Democratic thinkers of the last century believes that nothing coming out this week should be that big of a surprise because the American people told pollsters it was a problem 2 years ago.
I think that Jake knows book. I mean, it was a good book, but to me, it was a water's wet book.
When are we going to stop putting this man on camera? James Carville, my goodness, bro, you have been wrong for so many years. Stop putting this man on TV to speak for y'all.
Book.
2 years ago.
I think that Jake knows book. I mean, it was a good book, but to me, it was a water's wet book. Like I said, 80% of the country. I'll never forget, in May of 2023, to be exact, I saw a Washington Post ABC poll, and I went, this is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. And it never changed.
Back on the polls.
I asked Caroline Levitt if President Trump has followed up yet with folks that work in the offices here or that work in the residence to find some kind of files or some kind of backup to all of these Republican assertions that there were these de facto presidents, and she said that he has not yet. Back to you.
All right, Peter. The scandal continues. I think.
Listen, man. We need answers. We need answers when it comes to this. I think some of us already know the answer, to be honest. I think that most of the people that have been doing research on Joe Biden for years already gets it. But I'm glad to see that these people are going to be brought to the the Congress, or they're going to pretty much interrogate them and ask them questions so that we can actually try to put the story together. I'm seeing what you guys are saying right now, CG and Ortis, and the fact that we're able to start putting stories together because they're obviously not going to tell us the truth. There's a lot of questions here. And so, it's funny how the Republicans were labeled as conspiracy theorists, right? And it seems like every single time we turn around, they were right. They were right about this. They were right about that. They were on to something when it came to this. And so now I want to see what happens with these people that get sentenced to come there and testify in front of Congress. Because now we can piece more stories together. I'm sure that this story is going to tie back years back, and it's going to show that Joe Biden was declining. I think the fact that they want to hide this is to try to save face. And really, at this point, I don't know what they're trying to save, because most people already understand that this guy is done, and he was done for a while. They even kicked him out of his own party. Where do you hear that at? This guy was the sitting president, and his own party kicked him out. The Democrats have been moving so sloppy over the last few years that they have just been drowning in their lies, and the lies have caught up to them. The lies have caught up to them now. The last thing I think I want to talk about is this auto pen. All right. And listen to how people talk about this cover up. And this is what bothers the mess out of me. Even with the facts coming out, listen what happens. So this is a person that approaches somebody in Congress and they're asking them about the Biden cover up. And listen how they respond. This is a similar, just like Chuck Schumer responded.
Senator Hirono, how are you? Hey, we've got to get Johnny from Fox News. How are you? I'll walk with you. Senator, when did you realize that Joe Biden was cognitively on a decline?
I am more concerned about this current president who doesn't think that the rule of law or conflict of interest.
You weren't concerned about Joe Biden at all?
That is how I respond to your question. That's it.
Do you think there's a cover-up with Biden's doctor, Kevin O'Connor?
No, I don't. I was often asked, who's really the president of the United States? And I would always tell them the truth. Whoever has control of that teleprompter. And you might amend it by saying whoever had control of the auto pen.
My man, Senior Kennedy. I love that dude. That dude is as straightforward as you can get it. And he'll give it to Trump too, by the way. But see, this is it, man. This is how they act. Oh, I'm too focused on the current administration. They want to avoid accountability at all costs. And this is the party that you want other people to support. A party that couldn't look at Joe Biden and see, oh yeah, something's wrong with this guy. You know, he's not fully there. If your judgment is that bad to where you can't call out the fact that, yeah, there's something wrong with him, I don't trust you at all. It doesn't take a rocket scientist. My daughter can look at Joe Biden and say, okay, there's something wrong with him. And she's 7. The fact that grown people are still trying to tell you that he was sharp and he was good. Morning Joe. Oh, roll the cameras. This is the best Biden that we've ever gotten. 2 years later. Yeah, I don't know why they were doing the cover up. I don't understand. All of them were lying to you. All of the media knew what the hell was going on. They were just too sold on we got to get Trump. We got to get Trump. We don't care how bad Biden is. And they caught themselves in a web of lies, and they can't get out of it. This is a big deal. This is a huge deal that the president of the United States could have been incapable of running the country and making important decisions. And so now the most important question is asked, which Democrats have been saying for the longest, you guys need to stop asking that question. That's disrespectful. Who in the hell was running this country? Who in the hell was making decisions if Joe Biden was not fit enough? Who was behind it? This is a legit question to ask that Democrats, Diddycrats, don't want to face. Your party was wrong. You had the worst president in history. And we want to know who was behind these decisions that were being made, because money was flowing out of this country like crazy. Not just to Ukraine, but to all these programs, all these initiatives and DEI programs, all this stuff was being funded. Someone was getting paid, a group of people or whatever, but Americans were left on the back burner. And we want to know who in the world was responsible for this. And my guess is it's not just one person. I think it's a group of people. And you know who else I throw in this bucket? Jill Biden.
Sensational.
I throw Jill Biden in this bucket because she knew her husband. She knew how he was. Come on now. As much as women say everything, I got women intuition, a woman knows when a man has lost a step. And she was constantly peddling this man around. The day I watched him get destroyed in that debate, and I know some of you guys remember, one of the first things that she said was, oh my gosh, Joe, you answered every question.
Oh no, how are you?
In fact, I mean, we're on it right now, right?